Hey all, Sirturmund here again. Today I'm bringing you a deck that was requested by one of our viewers. So today I'm bringing you Spider Aggro. If you have a deck request that you want me to showcase on the channel, please make sure to leave a comment. I'm more than willing to do some of the decks that you guys recommend and showcase. So don't be afraid to do that. So today I'm going to bring you a Spider Aggro, and I think it's the best time to really climb with this deck. So if you're someone who's still like silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and trying to reach masters, or trying to get to the highest rank as possible, as fast as possible, then Spider Aggro is your answer for the deck. So the deck has a pretty great win rate right now. I think it's like over 55% win rate. And does well versus a lot of things in the meta. So it does well versus Ahri Kennens, and it also does well versus the Pantheon decks, which are two of the things that are going to see more in the meta. The one thing is that it does very bad versus like control, so like darkness and FTR, but you're not seeing a lot of those in the current meta right now. So if you want to climb fast to try to get to that as highest rank as you can before the end of the season, then this is the deck that I recommend. Now, the Spider list, it tends to be pretty stable. So usually this is the list that you're going to see most players run and what I expect everybody to be running, right? So it's going to be triple Rearguard, triple Saboteur, triple Precious Pet, triple Onlooker, right? Triple Horror. So you rely on a lot of the Fearsome, because the Fearsome ends up being really well against Ahri Kennens. Triple Elise. House Spider lets you go really wide and also potentially level up the Elise. Triple Demolitionist is very important as well as a way to do some reach and some burn damage. Doombeast, same way, does some reach, does 2 burn damage, also healing you, allowing you to stall a little bit longer. Skittler setup with your Fearsome units tends to be amazing because you can reduce their Fearsome blockers and be able to just get through for free attack. And then you finish up with Fervor or Decimate as your really top end burn, and Stocky Shadows as a way to refill your hand, because that's one thing that the deck struggles with. It can run out of resources very, very quickly. So just be careful on that when you're playing with this deck. So that's why we play triple Stocky Shadows. Now, the last card in the deck, what we call the 40th card, is going to vary from person to person. I prefer Brothers Bond because in this meta where going wide is more important, if I'm able to go wide with a House Spider, I can make those small spiders, so the spiderlings, have 3 attack, which is gonna be very impactful. Meanwhile, there's other people have played stuff like Astral Thoughts, which gives you an additional 3 damage of reach. My problem with Astral Thoughts is that it can be countered by like single combats or any pings that they put in half, right? And sometimes you don't want to have to kill your own units. You want to be able to still go wide and push damage that way. Aside from that, the list is pretty standard, so you're not gonna see a lot of differences. The only plus side to this list is how cheap it is. So if you're a new player, you can pick up this list and go and rank right away and have a great time. Again, so I would recommend this deck if you're trying to climb here fast, and it actually has a really great position in the meta, and it has won a couple tournaments in the past few weeks, right? So the Master in Runeterra 5K Championship was won by somebody that was playing a triple aggro lineup with spiders in it. So really strong deck in the current meta, and I hope you all enjoy it. In this video, we actually went over 670 LP with the deck. So again, it can be good even in high rank masters. So hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all at the end of the video. So in this video, we'll be going up against Ahri Kennens. So perfect. So right off the bat, we got a matchup that we should be doing well in. Usually in this matchup, you definitely want to have your Fearsome units, right? So Francis Kittle is very good. Precious Pet is really good. Rearguard, not so much. Although I'm debating if it's actually better to just attack with the Rearguard first, because they shouldn't have a great blocker for the Rearguard here, right? I guess if they summon Kennen or they summon the Morn, yeah, the drop is not gonna do it. So this actually pushes more damage than doing the Precious Pet. And I'm okay if they have the Morn to trade with this. So I like the idea of doing the House Spider instead, or maybe going wider. Maybe we do the Demolitionist first though. Let's do the Demolitionist first and kind of see what happens. So I like doing this, just presenting the 2 damage and doing this and giving us the option open next turn of doing either Precious Pest plus House Spider or going Francis Skater, which I think is looking more like it's going to be a going wide scenario. So I like going House Spider here. So I like the idea of going wide over going big, because they shouldn't have a lot of ways to deal with us. Yeah, like all these blockers are bad for him. So Blade Twirler is the only blocker that's decent. If he recalls the Kennen right here, he's losing a blocker, even though he's giving the Blade Twirler enough to block our Precious Pet. So that's why the opponent has to be worried about. So we attack it with 5 units. Usually they don't want to have to block. The more that he's blocking, the less likely they are to beat us. Now Kinko Waveband is going to be a little bit annoying next turn. Well, hopefully we get a unit that we can use, because now our hand is a little bit awkward though, right? So this is the problem with Spider Aggro. Like, you do all this damage, you go wide, but then you kind of run out of resources, right? So it's a little bit scary, because I mean, if he goes to 7, then we have the lethal in our hand, and we still have the full board to attack with. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't go down to 7, opponent. He's gonna decide to recall, which means he's gonna target the spider with the mark, loses the droplet, kills the house spider, goes down to 12. You can kill the precious pet right here. And now the blade twirler is gonna be in a position where we can now get over it. So the opponent is actually in a very good spot. Still at 12 HP. We only have 7 damage on board. We only have 3 units on board. He's about neither of these are fearsome, and he's about to summon. Okay. At least we got the blade. At least we got this to kind of help us out with. Refill our board a little bit. I think that horror is much better, right? The problem is that next turn we don't have enough mana to go horror, and Francis Killer. The Saboteur is presenting 1-2 damage. Perilous Demolition is presenting 4. With the Decimate is 8. And the Fervor is going to be 11. So 1 off. Is it the burn damage or is it the fearsome? I like the idea of going the horror. I think they're gonna have a hard time dealing with the fearsome. It also allows us to kill the blade twirler, which is gonna start presenting a lot of damage to us, right? We can sacrifice the spiderling into it. I don't think there's any chance that we're gonna be doing a lot of damage with the spiderling. So I'm okay sacrificing that just to slow them down. Because I think we're gonna need a little bit more time before we actually get to where we need to be, right? Question here now, is it actually the Francis Killer anymore? I think it's actually better to go wide. Let's start with the horror first. This gives us the option to do the Francis Killer. Or this gives us the option to go wide. So he's gonna have a blocker with the Blade Twirler, of course, right? Yeah, I think it's better to just go wide. He could have Homecoming, which will stop like one of the horrors, but he's gonna be bouncing it back, right? So that's a good thing about them, that they don't really have a great way to stop your fearsome attackers. Now, he's gonna need to commit a twin discipline here, to kill one of these guys, and he's still gonna have to lose his Blade Twirler. So he only has 1 blocker. If he doesn't block, then that takes him down to 7 and allows us to do the Decimate next turn. It's gonna be close, right? It's gonna a lot is gonna depend on what we draw, because the problem is the Decimate can get denied and the Fervor can get nullified. Yeah, so there you go. He's gonna have to do this. He's gonna block this, which means that this still is alive and can push too much damage next turn. Actually, it's gonna be probably 3 because of the Francis Killer, and he had to commit the Twin Discipline plus sacrifice a unit. Oh, and we have Elise now, so we have enough mana to do Elise plus the Decimate, which is gonna be great. So here we'll do the Elise. We have a blocker for the Kennen. We'll do the Decimate. If he has the deny, he's gonna have to commit the deny right here. No reason for us to wait, because we want to use up their mana right now, right? So that sits. Francis Killer presents 9 damage next turn. Kennen is gonna level up. No, he's not, because he needs to do the. Actually, he might level up from the. I mean, no reason to take that attack, right? I mean, the demolition is never really doing anything. Now this means that this actually dies to the Spiderling, and we can feel free to attack with demolition. Okay, yeah. So Kennen does level up. The problem with the Kennen level up is that we have the Francis Killer, so it doesn't do anything to us. So we can Francis Killer and attack with 3 things that have fearsome, and there we go. So nice Kennen level up. So now he's going to have to commit another twin, or he's going to have to commit the Absolver. Now that he leveled up Kennen, I guess he does give him access to the Absolver to present 2 blockers for our units. But I guess at this point, we're still attacking with everything. So at this point, we're still attacking with everything because he doesn't really have blockers for anything except for the Spiderling that he can block with the cannon. I guess let's see what they do first. Wow. So he's probably looking for the stun. So they have to be looking for the stun, right? So here we can present damage with everything. Even if he has the Absolver, let's say, and he's able to block 2 of our fearsome blockers, at least one of them is going to get through enough damage and take him down to 3. Yeah, there's the Absolver. And he's going to be sacrificing his whole board again. And then all we need to do is the Doom Beast and just find the last point of damage, which we have with the Fervor or with the attacks in the next turn. And shouldn't be close to killing us yet, because Ahri... Don't think Ahri does enough just yet. Try to think if the Doom Beast is better than the Fervor here, and I think it is. I think it is. Because we don't want to sacrifice the Spider, because the Spider is going to be the one that gives us fearsome attack in next turn to do that last point of damage. Here he only has 2 cards. The Blade Twirler doesn't do much. The Ahri we can block. Oh, and this is the last point of damage. So now he needs to have a deny. He needs to have a deny for this, and then needs to have the Knuckle 5 for the Fervor. So he needs to have exactly 2 cards for us to not die here. So this is the good thing about this matchup. They don't want to block, because the more that they're blocking, the more it slows them down. And you saw that even with him having the Absolver, they lost all their units. So they really had no threat versus us, even though they blocked as much as they want. But yeah, there you go, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Pantheon Riven. So this is going to be like an overwhelmed deck, try to kill us fast. The problem with a lot of Pantheon decks is that if you go wide, they have a hard time. And this is a hand that's amazing at going wide. So I'm willing to keep everything here because we can go Legion Rearguard to open up, have Spider in the next turn, or we can even do the Elise instead. So we can do House Spider, Elise, Sentry. I don't see how the opponent is going to be able to deal with all of this, because we're able to go super wide really quickly. Yeah, we'll do the House Spider. House Spider is a nice blocker into the Mountain Goat. I'm thinking... Let's do the Precious Pet first. And let's do the Arachnoid Sentry second. I guess it's fine. Let's do the Elise. The Elise presents 1 more damage than the other ones. He's obviously gonna block our Fearsome's attack, right? So he's gonna kill the Elise. I think we're okay sacrificing the Elise just because it gives us another unit right here. Yeah, there you go. We're still pushing all this damage. Okay, he's gonna decide to save the Mountain Goat. I guess it makes sense. You start triggering. It's a fearsome blocker that you have for next turn. And you start triggering the Pantheon win condition. The problem the opponent has is that he's already at 11. And we still have a board that can still go pretty wide. Yeah, opponent, this is very bad for you. Very bad for you. Sure. We'll do the Saboteur. And then what I'm actually going to do is that I'm actually going to do the Doom Beast instead of the Fearsomes. So the Doom Beast is presenting the same damage because obviously he has a Fearsome blocker, right? But this is really putting him at 9. And then we can still open attack with everything before they get a chance to react. And that's going to be almost lethal, no? Now we just need to find our burn. So now we just need to find our burn, and they shouldn't have anything to do against this game plan. They might play Will in Death. So Will in Death could kill 2 things. So this would be, okay, got in touch. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. So we have 7 damage. 9 damage. He's going to be at 1. This is the Will in Death. Oh, bloody business. Okay. Again, problem is, not only is our Saboteur still alive, but we still have all these units in the field, right? We have enough mana that we don't actually need to do the horror. I think it's okay for us to just pass and see what else we can get. So we can do this horror here. We can do the saboteur. Again, we're just too wide for the opponent to be able to do anything to us. They don't have enough blockers for everything that we have. So this is two damage guarantee here. It's actually better to just get rid of the spider here. It's presenting 1 more damage. And I'm willing to also do this in the unlock on the other spider. So this is 2. This is an additional damage compared to that spider, and that's an additional 2 damage compared to that spider. Now, this does tap us out of an answer. So technically, maybe it was bad to do this, but the fearsome on the onlooker doesn't matter because they're never not gonna have a fearsome blocker, right? So now here I'm forcing them to have more bloody business, more decimates. He needs to deal with all 4 units, right? Because this is already 2 damage, and that's not enough. So yeah, so GG's there. Again, that's the problem with Pantheon decks and why Spider does so well versus Pantheon, that you can just go so wide versus them, and they don't have enough like units to really deal with it. So yeah, peace. So in this match, we'll be going up against, let's see, Taric Pantheon. And this should be a good matchup for us because Taric Pantheon is not going to play a lot of units, right? So because they're not playing a lot of units, if we're able to go like really wide, they tend to have a really hard time dealing with us. Now, unfortunately, this hand doesn't look amazing. I think we want some 1-drops. Am I supposed to kick the Elise out, or am I supposed to kick the House Spider out? I think I'm willing to keep the Elise and see if we can get a 1-drop. Yeah, we needed a 1-drop, so we need to be able to go wide. Okay, that's better. So we need to be able to go wide. So I'm willing to do the Saboteur, do the Elise next turn, and if he has the Mantango, he has a choice. He can either kill the Elise or he kills the Saboteur. If he kills the Elise and not the Saboteur, then that means we get an additional ping next turn because the Saboteur will get to attack again. And he decides to go after the Elise, and he actually loses the Mantango. So now we just push 4 damage just like that. And next turn, unfortunately, we don't have a great way to use all our mana. Okay, never mind. We get rewarded by getting the Sentry. So I like the idea of just doing the Skittler, even though it's not really taking the fearsome away from the units. It's still enough. It's still enough because we have 2 spiders on the field, 3 spiders on the field. So it's gonna be pushing more damage if we do the Frenzy Skittler right now. Now, he could have Pantheon, he could have Taric, so that's a little bit scary. I still like the Frenzy Skittler. He pushes more damage because he gives each of the spiders more damage here. So if he has the Taric or Pantheon, okay, the Bright Steel, that's not bad for us. We don't care about the Dragon Whiteling getting bigger. We should have plenty of blockers for it. Now, what he could have here is going to be single combat to stop some of the damage. No single combat. Maybe he's waiting for us to do like a Fervor for him to use a single combat, which is also completely fair. Now, the problem that the opponent's going to have is that we can still go pretty wide, right? Yeah, we can still go pretty wide because we have the House Spider, and we can do the Doom Beast right here as well. So we can do House Spider, we can do the Doom Beast, and then we can push damage this way. Cynic Blade is actually very annoying now. Because now it actually gives the Dragon Overwhelm, which puts us in a pretty bad spot, right? Now, the opponent's going to have 6 mana next turn. Are we okay to go to 6? If we go down to 6, and let's say the opponent has a Cataclysm, then it's a good chance that we just lose, right? If the opponent has a Cataclysm, there's a good chance that we just lose. Because he'll be able to target one of our spiders to deal the last 7 damage that they need. If they have a Cataclysm, that's still gonna be enough because we give it. Yeah, playing them on Cataclysm doesn't matter because the dragon will get the faded and still be able to win. What we need to do here is just open attack and then do the Demolitionist, and hopefully we get another Demolitionist from the Stalking Shadows, or we get a Doom Beast from the Stalking Shadows because he's already at 1 right here. He's going to have to commit a single combat or a Concerted Strike. And if he commits that, then it gives us more room to do the Demolitionist. He could also have Guiding Touch to put himself at 1. And nope, doesn't have the Guiding Touch, doesn't have the single combat. So that's the problem with this deck. Like, their single units are not enough to stop our Swarm from being able to just get to there. And yeah, I mean, just kind of how it ends up winning out. Look at that, 676 LP. GG's. So in this match, we'll be going up against Zilean Xerath. This actually might be a little bit difficult because if they can get the Zilean and get the time bombs, they have a lot of ways to do AoE on us, right? So, this is interesting. I wonder if the Demolitionist is actually correct. It does present one more unit, but it does put a rearguard in range of like Pokestick or something. I guess he can always just Pokestick a Precious Pet if he's actually that concerned about it. Okay, I don't mind this hand too much. I think we can save the Skittler for a little bit later though. Okay, so the opponent ends up getting the one drop. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We lose our rear guard. If they play, maybe we actually. Okay, so I'm willing to do the the Precious Pet here, just because he's gonna eat up the Rock Hopper. If he doesn't do anything here, then we're gonna do the Francis Skittler. Wow, wait. I think it's better to go wide, isn't it? Or is it better to do the Skittler right now? Because if he has the 3-drop, you know what? If he has the 3-drop, it's better for us to go Skittler right now. Yep. Because at the very least here, he can block this with this, and he'll have to sacrifice his Devout against one of our 2 units. Unfortunately, this still has the vulnerable, so he'll be able to just drag it with anything that he has next turn. For which reason, for that reason, I think it's actually better to do the Demolitionist instead of letting this die for free. Problem is that our hand is not horrible, but it's also not the best, right? Okay, I mean, I can just do the rear guard now, right? I mean, if they want to keep, if he wants to sacrifice his Rock Hopper into any of these 2, I'm okay with that. Okay. So ended up going with the Zilean. I think we're okay to do the Demolitionist on the Precious Pet. And kind of seeing what they do, right? I guess we don't need to. I guess technically we don't need to, right? If he targets the Precious Pet. Yeah, if he targets the Precious Pet, I think I'm okay. If he targets the Precious Pet, I'm okay, because it puts the Zilean at 2. Meaning that we'll be able to attack with the Demolitionist and the Zilean not be able to survive against the Demolitionist attack. We have a way here to refill our board. So this is the problem. The problem is that if we block with the Demolitionist, I think it's fine because we could get a fearsome attacker. The problem is that this is gonna die to like a Pokestick, or it's gonna die to the bomb if you got the bomb, right? What we're looking for here is not Doom Beast. We were probably looking more for... I would have preferred for us to get something better than this, right? I'm willing to open attack with this before he's able to summon the Devout, the Sarcophagus. Because my guess is that he's going to have the Desert Naturalist or something else. So I guess at this point we can just try to burn the opponent down. So I guess we will do that with the Doom Beast. So this is 4 damage right here. Okay, bye Decimate. That's a great card that he'd use. I didn't realize they were still on the Aloof Travelers. I haven't seen them play Aloof Travelers recently. That's actually very interesting. And he ended up working out for the opponent, right? So we can do the Elise here. I think I'm okay with the Elise. It doesn't look like he has 2 time bombs. If he has 2 time bombs, we cannot get punished. I'm good with the Elise here. I'm good with saving the mana for the Doom Beast. What I'm scared of a single time bomb. So I'm good at saving the mana with the Doom Beast because I probably want to be able to attack with the Doom Beast, right? The problem is that any develop that we do next turn is gonna be met with might be met with a stun, right? So we need to be worried about the stun that he might have. And yeah, they always have the Pokestick, so that's a little bit unfortunate. A little bit unfortunate that we kind of end up dying to the Pokestick like that, so... I don't think it matters. I mean, it's just saving us damage. I guess it gives them the landmark, so now they can go ahead and summon something with the landmark, but I don't think it was ever going to matter what they got there. All we can try to do is that he doesn't have the fearsome blockers. So unfortunately, we just have to do it kind of this way. The problem is that if he has the Desert Naturalist, he gets the fearsome blockers anyways from just doing the Sarcophagus. right? This is not enough to actually kill the devout. If he gets the that's a naturalist. That's what I was talking about. Like the fearsome attackers are never really doing anything because he's always just gonna have this to be able to block all our fearsome blockers, right? So all we can do right now is just this. I guess we can attack. There's no reason not to. This is too good of a blocker for the sentry. All we can hope for is that we can do enough spiders that we can actually threaten something. The problem is that as soon as he does the Arsenal next turn, we're very likely just lost, right? The opponent was able to slow us down just enough to stop us, and him discarding that first Decimate actually ended up being huge. He ended up getting the lifesteal, so that's GG. Yeah, Arsenal just ends up kind of messing with us there at the end, huh? Because that's what the opponent was just waiting for. I don't think there was any way for us to push enough damage there. We were not able to go wide enough early enough to be able to push that damage that we need, but GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against, let's see, Lux Jayce. They do have a lot of units and they have a lot of ways to stabilize, so this is actually going to be very scary. Yeah, this is going to be very scary. I think I need like... Because they have fearsome blockers, they have stuff to deal with Looker. We didn't get a 1-drop aside from the Looker. I wanted to greed out and hopefully get a 1-drop, right? So we run 3 rear guards, 3 saboteurs, and 3 precious pets. So that was 9 cards, and we mulliganed 3 of them. So I was hoping that we could get at least 1 of them. I like keeping the Stygian Onlooker because we're attacking on 3, so it allows us to kind of summon like, you know, one of these 2 and then attack. Unfortunately, we didn't get there, so the opponent is able to do on his next turn with 6 mana. He'll be able to do the assembly line, summoning 2 fearsome blockers, right? He's gonna have to sacrifice one into the Stygian. Oh, no. I guess we have a good hand to level up Elise, actually, if we wanted to. Unfortunately, I don't know how much that's gonna matter. Oh, you're a little bit too late. Just a little bit too late. So yeah, so we'll do the horror instead of the Elise because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be able to do. I mean, he also missed the shot, right? So I wanted to do the horror instead of the Elise. I guess we could do the Elise right here too now, right? If he has the assembly line, he's probably try to kill the Elise. Oh wow, wait, no, that's not gonna be enough. I mean, cool. If you block the Elise, you're still losing 8 damage. Wait a second. I'm okay with them killing the Elise right here. I think we can go wide enough to kill them. So here's the problem that is the massive decks get. If you go wide enough versus them, they have a kind of tough time to deal with you. Wait a second. That means no assembly line. Oh, and we got another Onlooker. This is looking good. The problem is that we probably want to just open next turn, no? Like if we're able to do House Spider and Saboteur, I think I'd rather just open. I'm scared of a Jayce though, so I'm probably gonna open up with the House Spider first, because Jayce could have Challenger and kill our Saboteur. I think the 1 ping from the Saboteur is gonna be very important. So let's kind of see what the opponent does. Okay, he'll be able to kill some of his things in our board, right? So yeah, so no reason to commit the Saboteur right now. Let's just go wide. He's gonna have to challenge. He probably wants to challenge the spiders, or you know, take as much damage of the board as possible. Which is completely fair, right? The problem that we have here is that if we play the Saboteur now, we don't have enough to play the Stygian Onlooker as well. We don't have the Nightfall to play the Stygian Onlooker and the Doom Beast. So I think it's better to just do it this way. I'm completely okay with this. I'm going wide. I'm going wide. Cool. I mean, yeah, you'll be able to block most of our stuff. We still push 2 damage with the 2 Spiderlings. You lose both of your Mage Seekers, 3 damage because of this. Yeah, you have to block obviously the Saboteur. So we push 3 damage. So all we need now is a Fervor. It does still have enough board to survive us going wide. So yeah, we need a Fervor. Need a Fervor, need a second Decimate. Stalking Shadows also works. That's not what we're looking for. That is not what we're looking for, unfortunately. I mean, maybe we can go wide enough. I highly doubt it, though. Highly doubt it. Okay, so this all of a sudden got really awkward because the opponent is going to be able to stabilize. I mean, we still have 20 HP, right? So we have plenty of turns to be able to potentially draw the second Decimate, which I think is the only thing that can win us this game. Because if they have, like, they probably have single combat and Concerted Strikes in their hand, which means that Nocturne's Fervor or Demolitionist is never going to do it because they'll be able to always react to it and stop us from being able to actually get that damage through, right? I think we're okay to go super wide here. Kind of see how that goes. Sure. Yeah, us going wide ended up not mattering anyways, right? I'm actually willing to hold the Decimate back just because in case that I get like a Nightfall card right here. Technically, if we do this and we're able to push 1 damage, he'll be in lethal range. The problem that we have is that we just lose, right? He gets good trades, which means that next turn we just lose. As long as he doesn't tap out of single combat mana, we just end up not doing much. I think we had to do it like this. I mean, yeah, a Lutz level up kind of completely wrecks us. Because he can level up the Lutz and still have enough mana to do single combat because of the Forge of Tomorrow. So, a little bit unfortunate there. I think we're going to have to just risk it though. I think we'll do the Decimate and we have to risk it. I think we'll risk it, and if he has the single combat, then the problem is that he could also have Concerted Strike here, right? Oh, okay. That's game though. The opponent got greedy. Perfect. Never tap out a single combat. I could have Fervor there or anything, right? Maybe he just doesn't have it. Maybe he didn't have it, but yeah, opponent got a little bit greedy there at the end and kind of gave us the go-ahead to just finish up the game with the Fervor. But yeah, it ended up that going wide ended up working out for us. Doing that 1 piece of damage was enough. The reason I kept the Decimate instead of doing the Decimate last turn was in case that I got a Doom Beast. So if I got a Doom Beast, I needed a way to trigger the Nightfall. But yeah, oh my gosh, sits. A little curse, but you know, LP is LP. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Shyvanna Jarvan. So these like dragons, but with Jarvan instead of Pantheon. A lot of problems that this type of decks have is that they're not able to deal with us going super wide really early. This might be a little bit different though, because it is like a Shyvanna deck, so maybe they do have the answers to everything. If we get another 1-drop, that would be ideal, because that way we can do Precious Pet and then be able to do the Stinging Onlooker and go 3-wide next turn. We can do the Elise though. Usually the only 2-drop is gonna be the Mountain Goat. So yeah, we can do the Elise and so we can start with Precious Pet here. There's still a chance that we draw a 1-drop, right? So we always start Precious Pet here. If we draw a 1-drop, we can do Stinging Onlooker. If we don't do a 1-drop, we can just do Elise and kind of go like that. The problem in our hand is a little bit awkward because it's a bunch of Nightfall cards and no ways for us to get Nightfall cards. Yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and kill the... He's gonna kill the Elise. I forgot that they played the Lieutenant as well, so it's not just Pantango, it's the Lieutenant. I mean, I'm okay with this. You're taking 1 extra damage. I think I'm okay with this. You're taking 1 extra damage. And yeah, you get to kill Elise here, but you still took that extra damage. And we're just gonna do the Notch and Fervor. Yeah, we're just gonna do the Fervor here. No need to block. So I'm gonna do the Fervor here to not give him the free trade. Have him commit the single combat. So he's gonna have to commit the single combat here, and I'm completely okay with that. We lose 3 damage, we lose Elise, but look what we have now. We have Princess Skater and a Stinging Onlooker for the next turn. So he's able to get rid of both of their Fearsome blockers. And we have an Stinging Onlooker to back it up. So now he needs to have another Fearsome blocker. Or he needs to have like Pale Cascade. But because he spent 2 mana last turn with single combat, he might not have enough mana to be able to actually deal with this time. Yeah, so there's the Shyvanna. So regardless, he's going to be taking 7 damage right here. So 7 damage, and we still get left with 2 blockers. Oh, wow. Now he's going to decide to block the extra damage. This is still lethal though, right? We still have Decimate Doom Beast. So, a little bit scary for the opponent. I guess here's the question. Is it better to do Stinging? I think it's better to do Stinging Onlooker plus this next turn. So yeah, we always do the Decimate here because we don't have mana for anything else. He's always going to drag one of our units, which is cool. Yeah, that's fine. There's a consideration not to pass. Sorry, not to block. Just in case that we get something, you know, like I think I'm good not to block. Just in case we get another Francis Kittler, it's probably better not to, right? Is it better to do the Stalking Shadows? Next turn we'll have... I like the Stalking Shadows instead. Yeah, there we go. The Francis Kittler was what we were looking for. Is this what we want to do, though? I mean, the Francis Kittler is nice. It presents a little bit more damage. The problem is that he can always just buff. And they could have Sharp Sight. I think we got a little bit baited by doing this. I think it's actually just fine to do... Yeah, we can do the Francis Kittler. I think it's better to do the House Spider as a blocker and to be able to go wide. And what we're going to do here is just play the Doom Beast. And next time we can just Decimate for the win, right? So here we can just do Doom Beast. Gives us the blocker. And we can Decimate for the win. And I guess we just have to worry about Guiding Touch, right? The opponent is wide enough now that the House Spider is not going to do much. He decided to draw the Dragon, which means that's a Shyvanna. Yeah, the House Spider is not going to do much except for protect us. Okay, so we have... Let's not wait for us to die right here. Because we have two blockers. Yeah, so there we go. GG's. It was a little bit scary what we did there. But I think it ended up working out in our favor. So, yeah, let's kind of just... let's leave it at that and say that ended up working out for us. But yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against... Oh, no. Control. So... we have a really bad match into Control. They have way too many heals. Obviously, they have the whales. They have everything that they need to be able to just stop us, avalanche, etc., battle feast, etc. I don't see how we're gonna be able to win this matchup, but you know, let's give it a shot. I think the pirate player has like a 20% chance. The Aggro player has like a 20% chance of winning this matchup. You know, so it's not looking very hot for us. Is all I gotta say, right? At least we got our spiders here. He should have a hard time dealing with this, in a way. If he commits the heal next turn, we can do the House Spider plus the Precious Pet. If he passes next turn, we can just pass. If he does the Avalanche, he has to open with the Avalanche because we can just pass. So we might have a chance here because we do have a pretty wide board. Yeah, so here he has to decide. Does he do the Avalanche? If he does that, which we talked about, then we can do House Spider and do Precious Pet. The problem with this is that we're just gonna die to a whale, right? I'm not gonna play around the whale. If the opponent has the whale, they have the whale. Yeah, I'm not gonna play around the whale. I'm just gonna pretend that whale is not real and that the opponent only has Avalanche or Ravine in their hand and nothing else. So Withering Well. Oof. Oof. So we end up pushing just 4 damage out of that. This is the problem with this matchup. That is the big problem with this matchup. We'll go ahead and I guess Stinging Onlooker gets that, dies by a Battle Feast. Everything dies to Avalanche, so I don't think it matters. So yeah, he had the whale. The whale was enough to kind of push us where the opponent needed to be. I think at this point we just kind of play. If they have the Avalanche, they have the Avalanche, right? I don't think there's anything we can do about it. They could have a second whale, which would kill this spider, but not enough. Yeah, so that's the first Avalanche. I think it's better to keep the Fervor for later. I like the Stinging Onlooker. Let's present the 8 damage. If he has the Battle Feast, then that's a little bit annoying. He could have the second Avalanche. That could be a little bit annoying as well. So I don't think we can commit more than this. Perfect. And now we can do the Skittler. That's the reason why I went this way instead of doing the rearguard. So that we could do it like this and present 10 damage. Because now he's not fearsome blocker here. And we still have Fervor as a backup if we need to. The problem is that he's going to be able to heal. He has a lot of heals. And we have enough mana for Fervor, so that's why he's thinking if the Battle Feast is actually a good thing or not. Yeah, so we're going to just Battle Feast. We're going to just Fervor here. Denies the one heal, at least, and denies the blocker. We still push 7, but look at our hand. Our hand is like nothing. Like, there's no way for us to win this anymore unless we start drawing the Decimates. And even the Decimates is not enough because it's very likely that he has another Tavern Keeper or has another way to be able to heal, right? Okay, 1 Decimate is not bad. So now we just need what? Fervor? And hope that he doesn't have Ravines for heals. Doesn't have another Catalyst. Doesn't have another Tyrant Keeper. I'm okay opening up with the Decimate first. Because if we have a second Decimate in our next turn, it puts them in a really bad disadvantage. So we have 28 cards. Yeah, there you go. Second Tavern Keeper. So the opponent has already healed 9 damage this game, by the way. 9 damage this game. We can keep the Skittler back because there's a chance that we can get another Skittler from the Sucking Shadows, presenting a lot of damage. Wow, that actually would have been the win right there. I think it just has to be this, right? Wow. I like the Doombeast. I like the Doombeast instead of doing it any other way. So oh shoot, we should have started with the other Doombeast. The problem is that we just die. So we should have started with the other Doombeast. Because they could just kill us, right? They could just kill us next turn. The reason that we needed to start with the other Doombeast was in case that he did the Blighted Ravine. Because the problem is that Blighted Ravine means that we have no way to stop this damage. The question is, do we have to play for the second Fervor? The second Fervor doesn't do it because he probably has Vengeance. So maybe we actually needed to just block with the Skittler last turn. Because now we took an additional 3 damage that put us at 12. Wow. I'm willing to do the second Doombeast now. Gives us a little bit more health. And there's a slight chance that we draw the Fervor. He wins in the open though, right? And the Fervor is always down. Yeah, he wins in the open. There's no way for us to block 7. And the Fervor is just losing to the Decimate or anything else that he might have, right? So we just risk it and see what happens. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. Catalyst. So Vengeance would have actually done it. I mean, sorry, the Decimate would have actually done it. So we needed to Decimate instead? No, we were still being 2 off. Yeah, so it needed to be the Decimate instead of the... okay. Yeah, that was GG's. I mean, the Whale kind of blew us out, right? So the Whale blew us out. Which, I mean, what can you do about it? But yeah, well played by Snuggles. Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those gameplays. Like you saw, they go pretty fast, pretty quickly. You can overwhelm your opponent very easily with this deck. Unfortunately, I was hoping that I could get to 700 LP with this deck on the recording session, but I think we ended up going with a record of what 5-2. So because the Master Ladder, anytime you lose 25 points, and every time you win, you only get 15. Even after us going 5-2, we only ended up gaining a little bit of LP and not getting to the 700 goal. But you can see that even in high rank ladder, it can still be very efficient and very strong of a deck to climb with very, very fast. But anyways, hope you enjoy the content. And again, if you have a deck request that you want me to showcase, just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than willing to do that. If you like the content, please make sure to subscribe below. And I also stream on Twitch about 3 to 4 times a week. I'll see you all next time.